Welcome back to episode 20 of the new Millennium Falcons podcast. I'm Trey Sean. Happy post-Christmas, everybody. Savion, Fleek, Hunter. Hope you guys are doing well. How is everybody tonight?
Hey man, I'm doing pretty good, bro. Coming off of a good weekend, maybe not football wise, but as far as holidays, family, fun, great time, man. How was your holiday, Trey?
Uh, pretty good. Went down south to visit the family, so it was nice to see everybody. Uh, you know, good time. It's always nice to have a break. So, Hunter, how about you?
That's been pretty good. Just been relaxing, hanging out with the family. Now I'm back in my college apartment and we vibe.
We vibe.
And Savion, how you doing, my man?
I'm alive and kicking, bro. Of course, Merry Christmas to everybody. But we here still got the Christmas lights up, as y'all can see. So it's still holiday season over here in the Mixon house.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I can feel you on that. I have not taken down the Christmas lights yet, and I don't plan on doing that till the new year. So
absolutely, I'm staring at my tree right now.
Well, there was one gift that no Falcons fan got this holiday season, and that was a win on Christmas Eve. It was of course it was also like kind of an ugly game, field goal fest. Just not the most fun game for people to view either. But there was some good and there was some bad that came out of that. I'm interested to hear your guys' takes. 9-17. Lost to the Ravens, led by backup QB Caleb Huntley. Desmond Ridder game 2. Arthur Smith game 2 as well. Kind of, I've looked at it, almost different for him. I'm like, how are you calling and how are you working in with this rookie? So I don't know. How are we feeling about the game from this past Saturday? And, what are we thinking moving forward here?
Well, we got eliminated mathematically from the playoffs, but I think we all kind of felt like, we probably weren't going to make the playoffs anyways because of the situation we put ourselves in with that losing streak. I felt like we made too many mistakes in important moments. Drake had a big fumble again.
He did.
And he had a great game. So let me preface that by saying he had a really good game. And that's the thing that hurts about the Drake London fumbles, because he's really good. He is a great receiver. And he
was on fire after that fumble, man. I mean, it was like
fire.
You could tell he was like he was so angry about it happening back to back. He was making ridiculous catches after that.
Yeah, man.
Really
he was making plays. I felt like the offense took a step forward as a whole in this game. Desmond Ridder's offense, since he became the starter, took a step forward. Tyler Algier, still Tyler Algier. Running game, still the running game. I just feel like it came down to the mistakes we made. And the Falcons don't make many mistakes penalty-wise, but they always come at bad times when they do come. A few questionable ones, I'm not going to lie. There were a few that kind of got us all heated on the timeline. But no excuses, just made too many mistakes.
Yeah. Hunter?
Yeah, it was a tough game to watch. We had it on in the background during Christmas and everything, and
the background game.
I'm sitting there just trying to flip back and forth between food and the game, and at one point I look up and I see Drake fumble immediately. I'm just like, great, here we go. Then I started watching all the terrible calls from the ref, because there were a few of those. And it was just it was a tough watch. There were some bright spots to like. I thought Desmond Ridder took a big step forward from his first game against the Saints. Drake balled out after that after the fumble, because he only had one fumble.
Yeah.
Tyler Algier looked solid, normal. Things looked good. Then there were things to be happy about, but the outcome just wasn't what we wanted. So it is what it is.
Yeah, it's kind of just how the game was going. I think you mentioned, some mistakes. Carrie, thank you for dropping by. And that's right,
Yes,
2023 is going to be the Falcons' year. That's all that we're
Hey,
worried about at this point, because
yes,
right now we're playing for drafts.
that's the one.
Yeah, most definitely. One thing I will say is the rookies that played this week,
Hmm.
Travis Jones, Kyle Hamilton, I mean Tyler Algier, Drake London. By the way, all guys that we were huge on. By the way,
Mhm.
in the draft process, all balled out, and I mean all balled out. Travis
Yeah.
Jones looked like a grown man in the middle of that line. It was ridiculous,
Yeah,
but
it was
that
a
was
beast.
Oh, what could have been?
Bro, Travis Jones, like Kyle Hamilton getting drafted by the Ravens hurt. Travis Jones getting drafted by the Ravens hurt even more.
Because he's there in the third,
Yeah.
man. We had three. Oh man, that
God,
I don't
we
even want to. I don't want to get into Travis Jones.
Bro, no.
That one hurts the soul. That one hurts the
Yeah.
soul, man.
yeah, no, he definitely would have looked good here, but listen, I'm just happy that we look serviceable again. I mean,
Hmm.
I was a little scared after that first week. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's a rookie, you're gonna have your growing pains, but the way that the offense kind of stagnated, I was like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
that's not how you wanted it to start. Not like this.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, let's talk about that because first two Falcons drives, 3 and out, and you had the botch snap on third down under center. That looked like classic rookie
Mm,
mistake. Man, that's just you got to
yeah.
call it what it is. It's just like the classic rookie mistake there. Bad handoff exchange. Hard to
Yeah.
blame that one on just Dahlman, who has had questionable snaps, but from the shotgun. So
Yeah.
that really hurt to see because you didn't, that's not how you want to see the first drive start. And then the second third and out, 3 straight pass plays.
Hey,
The first one was the screen that Ridder bailed on, and it looked like, okay, that decision, maybe him running would have been better than just an incomplete. Like, I think it would have either just been, he's like, I throw an incomplete or let me try to make something with my feet. He tries to make something with his feet. But to come back on second down, they take another shot. So then you're forced into third and long and you have to throw it. Didn't love that play sequence by Arthur Smith.
no, did not love that. I'm not gonna lie. With how good the run game is, I feel like I say this too much. I'm gonna stop saying it one of these days. The season's almost over, but I just can't. I don't understand why we would go a 3 play stretch right out of the gate without running the ball at least one time,
Mm-hmm.
at least once on first or second down, because the run game has proven to be able to pick. How many times have we picked up like 3rd and 7 with like a outside zone or like a, you know what I'm saying, a halfback draw or something? Like we've made big plays in the run game, so it's not like we can't gain exponential yardage. So I would just like to see us run. I know this sounds crazy. I want to see us run more. I'm asking
Yeah.
us to run the ball more. Like,
So
especially with Ridder in.
And they started getting the run game going after that in the third drive. You saw Algier. That's when he made his front flip, and just somehow got a first down on that play. This kid's just getting better and
just a
better.
baller, bro. Just a
Yeah.
baller.
But then you have the. I don't mind going for fourth down in that situation. That was a disappointing ball to look at on the all 22 to Hodge. It was the right read and it was there, but oh man,
Yeah,
Yeah.
Ridder
it had
definitely still has
nothing
to.
on it. It was
Yeah.
Yeah.
it was frustrating. And it was one where you thought hey man, some that could have been a touchdown, that could have been a big gain. It was something that you were really hoping that we've all been wanting to see this offense finally get, and it just didn't come through there. So it's like Savion said, it was really tough sledding in the first half there, watching the offense try to move the ball down the field.
I
Yeah.
I feel like it's becoming painfully apparent more and more each week that we need a second receiver opposite of Drake London.
Oh
Like,
yes. Oh
like
my God.
Ozzy's fine for what he is, which is a number 3 receiver, a slot guy.
Yeah.
and we were able to mask that a little bit with Pitts being active. But with Pitts being on IR, it's just painfully apparent that we are lacking firepower to really hang with this league, especially with how many just two-man shots Arthur Smith dials up. We need something. We need another guy. And I'm hoping that's something we address in the offseason. I know it's a little like looking forward and everything, but like, bro, it's painful. Like that Kadarius Hodge has looked like one of our better receivers this season.
Yeah. That's so bad. That's such a bad thing to say. Like Kadarius Hodge, don't get me wrong, he's a great special teams guy. He really is. But he is not a wide receiver 2, might not even be a wide receiver 3 if not necessary. But another thing that I wanted to highlight too was our offensive line looked really good against considering the fact that it's the Baltimore Ravens. I mean, Patrick Queen and Roquan Smith are monsters, but other than that, like they look pretty freaking good against this defense. I mean, it's all against this defense.
Couldn't agree more. Thanks for stopping by, fellas. Our boys are out of your Falcon mind. This is actually, at this point, it's Fleek and Savion's like. I think they're about to bail Hunter for the pod. I don't know, man. I'm like tallying up all these hosting that we're seeing, and I'm like, hold up.
Hey, listen, I am just a hard worker, okay? That's all that is. This will always be home.
This guy gets it. This
guy
gets
it. Yeah, one thing I did want to say, too, though, and I'm glad John and Mike mentioned this because wide receiver 2 is kind of up there for me in priority. I'm not going to lie. But I also have to temper that because I have to remember I've been watching this offense without Kyle Pitts. Right. And I understand Kyle Pitts may not have had the catches and the yardage production, but he was obviously helping guys get open. Obviously. Because it's been painful to watch these guys try to create separation these last 3 or 4 weeks. And I believe it's because when you have a presence like Kyle Pitts on the field, whether he's catching 1 pass a game or 11 passes a game, you know what he's capable of. So even if it's not supposed to be this way, in the back of your mind, you know that there's an alien on that field, and you know that you have to make sure that you can't let him beat you. So that's obviously helping our other guys like OZ stretch the field. But, we don't have it right now.
I'm glad you said that because I'm not sure if y'all know who Carter Landis is. Carter, shout out there. He's in the part of Falcons Twitter. Very smart guy. He posted in one of these communities that we're in some numbers of the offense with and without Kyle Pitts so far. And the biggest one that stood out to me was 11 games with Pitts, 24.4 points per game, compared to now with 5 games without him, 14.2.
Yeah. It's
a 10-point swing.
It's painfully obvious to see too. Like the offense was never amazing because we couldn't get the pass game going for certain reasons. Right. But the offense was obviously more open with Pitts in the scheme. Like it just guys were just creating or guys were getting open. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's tough.
It's almost like you can physically feel how compressed this offense is when you watch it. Like there's times where you look and it's just like, especially on the all 22, and you're looking and it's just like, I mean, I don't like the ball, but where else is he going? You know, and I hate feeling like that.
Oh yeah. We definitely need another playmaker, man.
Mm-hmm.
Agreed.
Yeah, it's tough. It's really tough, and like I feel like this is like the time that I think we'd appreciate having Pitts out there even more because we are trying to throw the ball more with Ridder than we ever did with Marcus. And man, I wanted to see like Ridder to Pitts connection, see if it was, anything. So it just
well, let's just go ahead into it and can we ask why we should play a little more? Oh my God, get that out of here. No, we're not we're not entertaining that. Adam, you're like more than welcome to come up here. So if you
you are technically still part of the podcast.
Oh man.
Technically.
When he moved to Alaska.
But let's get into the Ridder review. All right, so week 2, basically of the season in my mind at this point, we finally saw Ridder, in my opinion, look like, a bit more of the passing or QB that we kind of expected. Whether or not, that's going to continue to grow or continue to improve at this stage, we're not sure. But, tell me the good or the bad from this game, what you guys saw. I think for me, it's just like this whole slow start thing. It seems to be like a pretty ringing true narrative. And
Mm-hmm.
at this point, you just can't. Our offense isn't built to start slow. Like we have to.
Yeah, no.
we need to like be able to get some kind of points immediately and be able to like slowly sustain that. We're never gonna. We're especially with how we're built right now. We're not going to be obviously throwing up 30-point games, but we have to be able to do more on offense at the beginning, and it just kind of seems like this whole slow start narrative is true. But hey, I love the second half play.
For sure.
So it's
For
like
sure.
it's tough right now. He's still growing, but I don't
Do
know.
we
That's
feel like
what it is for me.
I feel like in a way, and definitely week 1, I feel like maybe a better job of it this past game. But I feel like Arthur Smith could do a little bit more to get Ridder settled in early. I feel like the whole objective of coming out and firing early and often is cool and all when you can do that, but like he's still a rookie. He still obviously has accuracy things that he needs to fine tune. He has some mechanical things he needs to fine tune. So he's obviously not all the way there yet. So I feel like Arthur Smith could, get him started early with like some quick passes. I know he does a little screen passes every now and again, but I feel like the running game getting started early for the 13th time would help him settle in on some play action boot plays and stuff like that. So I feel like Ridder is, a slow starter, but I feel like once he gets settled in, he can be pretty good. So I just want to see that happen earlier and more often. And it's not my job to figure out how to do that. That's Arthur Smith's job. That's just a request.
So Hunter, good or bad, what do you think you saw from Ridder this game?
I don't know. I liked it like that we tried to get him in rhythm a little bit earlier, which was nice to see. I do appreciate dialing up a little bit more short game stuff, a little bit more 3-step, 5-step stuff. Talked about that last week. Weirdly enough, I do miss like kind of seeing some of the vertical shots that we were taking against the Saints. I feel like we didn't take that many this past week against Baltimore, which really Baltimore was like they don't really like showing, the big play. So I guess that factors into it. But I don't know. I thought Ridder had a good game. He had some, he had some big boy throws in there. But like there were still obviously just absolute moments of him just being a rookie, and it's like, okay, dude, you gotta get that. Like the one where he was rolling out to the right and the tipped ball that was technically intentional grounding.
Oh yeah, it was called intentional grounding, but it shouldn't have been because it was tipped.
Yeah. And then they doubled down on it. Yeah, that was horrible.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like he should have gotten that out sooner.
Yeah.
So like it's one of those moments where I'm like, okay, like you're still a rookie. Yes, you were a multi-year starter at Cincy. Yes, you're one of the most established players in G5 history for college football, but you're still a rookie. Like you're still a third-round pick. People have these expectations for Ridder and expecting him to come in and be the savior immediately, and that's just not what he is. Whether you want to admit that or not, I think it's pretty self-aware at this point to be like, okay, Ridder was not the instant starter guy that we thought he was. But there's still flashes and there's still room for him to be improving. So I don't know. I liked it.
No, the biggest thing I saw was improvement, and that's all we can ask for, honestly, when it comes to Ridder. I mean, last week his EPA was negative almost 1, and then there's this week where he's inching towards it, inching towards that average level, that average to above average level that you kind of want him at as of right now. But right now, it it just feels good to see, you know, the little steps being taken towards you know, solving the quarterback position. And I think that's kind of what I enjoy watching, and that's kind of why I wanted Ridder. And this is what the only thing I'm going to keep saying. This is why we wanted Ridder and see him see whether or not he could evolve in this offense or not throughout this season. But instead, we stuck with Mariota because we were quote unquote competitive, and it makes sense. It makes sense. It does, but it just sucks because of the what could have been. And I'm sorry if you guys are hearing Miss Rachel in the background right now. My child is still here, watching her shows. But yeah, that's more so what it is.
Yeah,
I think that's a good point. You know, Hunter, I think something else you'd mentioned, kind of like you said with that intentional grounding play. There was a sack. The sack he took on the second drive of the game was also another one where it's kind of like I've noticed he's just holding on to the ball a little bit, but for areas that he improved, because he did take massive, like Savion said, you know, we're looking at a guy who from week one, that was not an NFL quarterback. That was, you know, that just wasn't the kind of performance that you can turn in and week out in this league. And I would say that he played, in my opinion, basically at, you know, the higher end level of Mariota play that we saw this year. Third most passing yards we've had in a game this year. No turnovers, a couple turnover worthy plays possibly, but hey, you know, I count the ones that happen, you know.
right.
That's how like Mahomes leads that category every year in almost INTs. So like for me, it's
My
like
dad
what
said
that stat
too.
doesn't even matter to me, honestly. I'm just like whatever. Like it's got a good spin on the ball. I'll
Sling it, man.
I'll turn that anyway.
You gotta sling it,
Gotta
bro.
sling it, man.
My dad said the exact same things. You know how many great quarterbacks led the league in almost interceptions?
Yeah. So it's just one of
great QBs throw INTs. Like,
yeah,
I hate to say it, but like it's true.
Yeah,
it's part of the
Peyton
game.
Manning, for sure.
Peyton Manning, yeah.
And I do think that we actually got to see him go through his reads a little bit more this game. I personally, I think sometimes it's a toss-up whenever people are identifying what's 2 or 3. I think sometimes, you know, we do have to use a little bit of our imagination there, but like you're seeing the head movement, you're seeing the eyes move. That's what's important, because week 1 we were all like, all right, kid, look away from London, like every other play at least, or something like that, you know. And he was definitely spreading the ball. So that was another area where I thought he just looked a little bit more comfortable overall. If anything, I'm just kind of like, yeah, it would have been really cool to do this before 4 games in the year. Like, because I already mentioned it, but I'm like, you know, it seems like he's a slow start. It's going to take him some time to warm up. And this is kind of what it looked like in the preseason too. When he started seeing the action, he really started to look much smoother in that second to third game. So
yeah,
I don't know.
I do think it might be a little premature to say this because we still have 2 games left. I do think Ridder's going to be our guy next year. Whether that's good or bad, I think Ridder's going to be the guy we roll with. And I know some people aren't super, you know, excited about that, like moving the needle wise. But I don't know. I just think it makes sense to roll it out. Obviously, like we could lose the next 2, end up picking like 4, and a Bryce Young or CJ Stroud falls in our lap, which is a very different conversation that we could be having. But if we're still picking back into the top 10, early teens, like we're kind of projected, I think it's going to be Ridder.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so as well. And I think as long as he's progressing, I don't see Arthur Smith finding a reason to move off of the progression and off of the project he's already started. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, the college QB thing gets kind of nitpicky around this time of year. Everybody starts to get off their hot takes about why this elite prospect that I've been telling you was elite for 2.5 years is now kind of shaky. I don't know. I don't like him as much. So who knows? Somebody might fall, like you said, Hunter, and we might be having a different conversation. But if that doesn't happen, I don't see us, you know, maybe getting a guy to push Ridder, but not necessarily, you know, bringing in a guy to absolutely overtake him.
I'll do that over signing Derek Carr any day.
I'm
That's all.
I'm
completely
not
fine with
signing
that.
Derek Carr ever.
That's all I
I'm
have to
completely
say.
fine with that. Yeah,
Mhm.
I'm completely fine with. I mean, like when you say like competing with Ritter, like what are you looking to invest in the draft for that?
Oh, in the draft, if I was drafting a QB, I'm going like fourth, fifth, sixth.
Day 3,
I
right?
wouldn't.
That's what I'm thinking
Yeah,
too.
day 3.
Okay.
I wouldn't.
He's
Yeah,
lower.
unless like day
Oh,
7,
If you're
undrafted tier?
undrafted
if
free
you're
agent.
drafting, I'm like lower. I'm looking for like Bailey's. I'm going like 6 or 7. If you can find Brock
Yeah,
Purdy's and
something like that.
Bailey's in the 6th and 7th round, I'd rather grab one of those. Like save that 4th
Yeah.
or 5th for something a little better.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, true.
Was just curious.
Yes,
That you know
I
what?
saw that.
There's
Yo,
something about those Raiders
Aaron.
QBs and just walking away from the team when their time has come. I don't know
Hey,
what it is,
man.
but I feel like Marcus and Carr might be in Hawaii chilling right now. You know,
Right.
Marcus is there hanging with the Carr's already. You know, he's got the Jets on speed dial.
The
He's not
Jets.
coming to Atlanta.
Not the Jets.
He's
Not
not
at
coming
all.
to Atlanta.
Not the
Yeah, not at
Jets.
all.
Yeah, to kind of go back to the pushing Ritter conversation though.
Yeah.
Yes.
I would, bro. I'd be all in for Jacoby Brissett this offseason. Like, I think
I'm
it was
down for a
Aaron
backup there
Freeman.
too.
I think it was
Much a
Aaron
lot.
talking about how he wouldn't pay Jacoby what Jacoby's market price would probably be.
Yeah, because he's probably going to be a little pricey.
Aaron said projected like 5-6 mil a year.
Oh.
Oh, that's not as bad
I
as
thought
I
he'd probably
thought.
be at like 8. I'd had him at
I
probably
would
like
have had him
8
closer
mil.
to 10. Yeah.
That's what I'm
Yeah,
saying.
I was
Like,
going close to 10.
but
Eight to
in today's
12.
NFL, backup quarterbacks are freaking valuable, and
Yeah.
especially a guy that might be able to or might have to step in as a bridge guy for Ritter if Ritter sucks. Like, there's no reason to not be throwing that money at a Jacoby Brissett, at hypothetically maybe a Jimmy Garoppolo, or just something along those lines. Like one of those guys that's like a proven bridge guy.
I don't see why not. I mean, it doesn't. I mean, he's what is he? 30 years old. He can still kind of move. I'm sure he'll be able to work the offense if necessary. He's a journeyman. I mean, that's what you use journeyman for. You use journeyman for this exact reason. If you don't have the guy, or if you want to help, get the guy where he's supposed to be, and you need a veteran presence in that room, you bring a guy like Jacoby Brissett into the room. I think it's a no-brainer. Ryan Fitzpatrick, exactly.
And Josh McCown made a lot of money doing this type of work.
Yeah.
My hope would be is that Logan Woodside can be QB2 and then Franks is just emergency QB3. I believe in like investing in the QB2, which is like I think why it's great that we already have Ritter, because like, hey man, like if it doesn't work out, he's definitely gonna just be Arthur Smith's QB2 of the future. Like I honestly don't see Ritter parting from Arthur Smith, like unless it's just like super volatile, unless things just go insane at the end. But Ritter's like good in my book, but ideally, Jacoby Brissett, man, I think he's gonna have better suitors than us. I just don't know if we'll be in like that mode of where, I mean, when you're backup QB, it doesn't really matter. You don't care. You're taking the check. I guess we'll have to see whatever the money comes down to. I don't hate it.
Yeah.
Jacoby Brissett's a dog. Like he's always liked in all of his locker rooms, and dude's played with like a broken thumb. Like love having guys like that on your team.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So Fleek talked about this a little bit earlier, but how do we feel about Arthur Smith's play calling for Ritter? Hunter, you mentioned you thought you saw him make improvements. I didn't like the first half a ton, but after going back and looking at the film, I don't know. There were some plays that definitely, if they had hit, it's like, okay, like that deep ball to Hodge, that was like a nest. To me, I'm like, that's a nice 4th down. Like, I like that. I like that call a lot. You get that matchup.
The thing with Arthur all season to me is his running fits have been gorgeous all year long. He's always had the most beautiful run plays, maybe next to Kyle Shanahan. He just designs good run fits. But man, it's tough sitting here watching him have to scheme up for a quarterback that can throw. Because like we've talked about it all season long, the 2-man deep shots, it's ugly, it's painful, it only does so much, and like I'm having to like attempt to watch him attempt to cook with a quarterback that can throw, or even kind of throw, and it's just tough. That's something I'd like to see him. I know we talked about it. Did we talk about it last week, or is that just a group chat?
It might have just been the group chat, bro.
I think it was a group chat. Yeah,
but
okay,
I feel what you're saying.
I'll bring it up now. Man, I would kill to see him replace Ragone with an actual OC that stems from a team that passes the ball a bit more, or just better offensively than what Ragone is. That's not saying Ragone's done a bad job for what Ragone has done, but I just want a guy that just kind of stems a little bit differently than Arthur, that will kind of challenge him on some things, challenge him on some pass concepts. I want that guy to be Joe Brady. I'm just throwing that out there. I want that guy to be Joe Brady. And I think it would make sense, too, coming from Buffalo. Like Josh Allen, you can use him in design runs not similar to Ridder, because Ridder's not like a tank. But you can scheme up similar concepts of hitting him on the run, moving him around, and just conceptually it's just interesting, and I think it would work. But that's just kind of what I want.
I agree.
Yeah.
That's a great name. Yeah. That's a great name that we could.
That is a great name.
That's a great name to bring in, bro.
And even if we couldn't get that name, maybe somebody like I don't even know who it is, but who's the passing coordinator for the 49ers, like somebody who comes from a running offense that knows how to take those calculated shots or knows how to build routes off of those run fits and can really like just elevate your whole offense. Because like you said, Hunter, I feel like if Arthur Smith got a guy in there that could challenge him, or that Arthur could take a lot from in those aspects, it could do really good things for this offense and for him as a coach. Because like ideally we want to get to the point to where like we're the team that people are hiring the next Brian Dabble from, and that, oh man, we got to get like people from that like that should be the goal. Like that's the kind of like staffs that we should want to have, which means that Arthur's retaining some of that knowledge and he's picking, and that's helping him, as a coach. So I don't know. I'm fully with, looking at upgrading. If they were going to upgrade a coaching spot, that'd be a great one. So
yeah, for sure. Hey, and shout out to design runs for Ridder, because I'm a big proponent of that. I know he's not the biggest guy, but he's more like he has the speed for it. Like if you can get Ridder outside power, QB power or something, I am not mad at it. Get down though.
And he's willing. The kid has shown he's willing to run, so like I'm for it.
Yeah.
You got to show me at this point, man. Ridder's got to show me like every ounce of game that he has, so I can have like some kind of, so I can go back and point to some film and be like, okay, yeah, look, he did execute this QB power, or we were able to do some RPO action here, and the defense actually was threatened by his feet. Like, because without seeing any of that in this 4 games, I just don't. It's just going to make it that much harder to get hype for next season. But can we, we're going to talk about it. Man, this special teams unit every week, man, they show up and they do their job. We got a block field goal nobody's talking about. Like nobody's talking about this block field goal. I don't even know if the Falcons posted a highlight of it. Huge, like that's Justin Tucker. That's 3 points. That's like that was going to be 3 points. You can't tell me otherwise. Off the board. Avery Williams is like getting back to the 30 consistently on kickoffs. Like, I mean, it's just like this special teams unit's been in the gutter for a little bit outside of like, Bosher and everything, but like it's slowly all come together, Koo, man, my guy was cold. Like he was I could, man, you can tell when your friend is cold. Like you just know, you can look at how his stance is. You can tell that he's like, my guy is not vibing right now. Koo was out. He almost missed that field goal too. Oh, he chipped that thing. I was like, I almost thought, he's not gonna make this.
Listen, a win is a win. A win is a win, bro. When it comes to him, bro.
Like, all right, Koo.
Let's go.
He did not want to be out there, man. He said, he said no.
It's not his environment, bro. That is a dome kicker right there, bro.
Oh
Hey,
man.
That is
I
a
don't
dome
Hey,
kicker, bro.
speaking of domes, we back at home, man. I know we only, what was it, 2 games in a row on the road? Or was it more?
Yeah, 2 games. Yeah, Saints and then
It's
Baltimore.
felt like forever for some reason. Like, but
Because
I
of the
think
bye.
it feels like that because of the bye and because it'll be Ritter's first home game.
It is Ritter's first home game. That's huge. That's
That's
huge.
big.
So what do we think? The Cardinals just took the Colts to overtime. Colt McCoy is healthy, of course. He's going to be full go for the game. So we're not playing Trace McSorley. James Conner looks like a beast. But there's just something about the Atlanta Falcons that when they're eliminated, that's when they come
Oh
out.
yeah.
We
And that's
turn it
when-
up, baby.
That's when they play their
We
best
turn it
football.
up.
So I think
Yeah.
we might be on Ridder 2 touchdown alert. I'm not just one. I think he gets 2 passing touchdowns this game. I'm just going to
Whoa.
start out hot.
Don't
the
steal
Bengals,
my take. Don't
In
steal
the
my take right
Bengals,
now.
bro.
Okay.
I won't steal your take, Hunter, because I'm going to take it one step further. He's going to have a
gosh.
rushing touchdown as well.
I agree.
He's
I was
going
gonna
to
say
have a
that.
rushing touchdown and 2 passing touchdowns. He's going to look like Brock Purdy out there, man.
Oh, the great Brock Purdy.
The
man.
one and only Fleek.
Wow.
He's turning in his Brock Purdy performance of the season. The kid's
Okay.
going to do it.
I need that. I'm not gonna lie to you, Trey. I need that. I mean, I got high hopes. I'm not gonna lie. I was gonna say 1 passing, 1 rushing, but I'll take the 2 passing and 1 rushing, bro. And the rushing can be a QB sneak, by the way. I will accept a QB sneak.
Just get in
No,
the
no,
end
no, no.
zone.
Oh, no, hold on. No, he's running it in. I'm
Okay.
clarifying that.
Okay,
He's
like-
running it in.
like-
No cheap rushing touchdowns
Like
here.
like an untouched bootleg from the one like Peyton Manning style, or like
My man's running it in. Whether it's a scramble or a design run, I don't know, but it is not going to be a
Maybe-
QB sneak.
Maybe not
Okay.
Peyton Manning, because I don't think no, we got to remember nobody in the stadium knew Peyton Manning still had the football. You got to remember that. Like, but
Bro.
no. I think he's talking like scramble out of the pocket. You know what I'm saying?
Extend the play.
Extend
Buda
the
now I
Baker's
play.
gotta
not
run.
home.
Oh, don't do that, bro. I'm telling you, playing the Falcons is a curse, bro. Playing the
telling
Falcons
you,
is a
bro.
curse, bro.
I'm telling you, bro.
It's happened all year, bro. It's happened all. Where's Kyler? Where's Kyler, guys? Exactly. It's a curse, bro.
Yeah,
It's a
it's
curse.
crazy. Yeah. Any team that has had the Falcons on their schedule 2 weeks prior, started like 2 to 3 weeks prior,
They started
just caught the
dying.
injury bug, bro.
It's like,
Just
somebody
started-
like a sledgehammer came through the facility when we come through. It's ridiculous.
Now, I do want to preface that this Ridder performance is going to come on the heels of a Colt McCoy 6-touchdown game. So I just want to put that out there before anybody
Bro.
gets too excited.
Colt McCoy was one of my favorite college QBs.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
like,
He was that guy.
I wouldn't
at
even be
Texas,
like
right?
too upset to watch that.
He was
happen,
Desmond Ridder before Desmond Ridder. He's
Oh,
I mean,
UT
honestly.
Desmond Ridder.
honestly.
UT
He's
Desmond Ridder.
UT Desmond Ridder.
Wasn't he highly touted though? Like, wasn't he supposed to be?
He was,
like,
most like winningest college QB.
He was a
just
stupid
great
good
pro
college QB.
style,
No
all that.
tools at all.
was he
Yeah.
drafted in the
He was
first?
just good.
Colt,
I
no. Colt
don't
wasn't
even think he
drafted
went in the
first.
first. Oh, because his shoulder got messed up right before the draft. So I remember he
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 definitely
was
fell,
around
yeah.
3 or 4
Oh, yeah.
picks.
Oh,
Sure, that's-
sure did. I forgot
Yeah.
about that.
He was around 3 or 4 picks.
That's right. Alabama dynasty was born.
Yes, sir. You better
On a
believe
lot of UT.
That man could have
teams,
stopped Bama.
man.
I'll die on that hill.
it. Hey, Hunter. He did not though, so that is
did
fine
not.
with me.
Nope.
Bro, he didn't get a chance to.
I know
don't care
that
how
game
it
was messed
happened.
up, man. I remember.
I
Oh,
don't
man.
care
I remember
how it
being a kid
happened.
watching that. Like that thing. It was just over after that. Oh, it's brutal.
He said, I don't care how it happened. It
And
just
I
didn't
don't mean
happen.
that. It's a joke. It's a joke. I know things. I know people get hurt.
I'll take a
It's a joke.
championship by any means, Fleek. Don't
Hey,
hold back.
big
Sorry.
rings.
You can't
Big
even.
rings.
You know what I do for a Falcons Super Bowl?
Bro, the amount of things I do for a Falcons Super
Oh
Bowl,
my
like,
gosh. That list is
Disgusting
long,
things that I would
fellas.
do for a Falcons Super
That
Bowl.
list is long,
Bro,
fellas.
my morality is out the window for a Falcons championship.
Bro.
Oh man. So what do we think of this game? I mean, just we're out of the playoffs. mathematically, the Falcons can finish as high as between like third, and I think we can fall all the way down to like top 10 or even out of like all the way down to 10 or below 10. I don't foresee that happening, but obviously the biggest thing I think is it's another game to judge Ridder, right? Like that's pretty much all that matters at this point.
Yeah.
Maybe Timmy Horn, maybe a couple of the undrafted free agent guys, like anybody, anybody like kind of like that on the roster that you guys are like also watching as this season kind of wraps up, because this is basically another eval period for some of those guys and everything that are coming over. I think we've seen Timmy Horn get some more run. I think that'll be somebody that they're going to be watching really closely.
Bernie,
you never know.
Hey, I hope Bernie gets elevated.
That's
Bernie's pulled off the IR. God, I hope he's activated.
Me too, bro. I need it. That's Ridder's wide receiver too, right there. He loves him some Drake and he loves him some Bernie. So, hey.
I think Troy Anderson. I think we're gonna really see Troy Anderson these next 2 weeks because he's kind of already like fully surpassed Michael Walker as LB2. Whether you agree with that decision or not, I know some people think Walker's better than Troy. Some people think Troy's better than Walker. Some people think Evans is the worst of the three. No matter how you spin it, Troy Evans has fully – oh, here he is.
Oh!
I say one word about Michael Walker.
Man.
He shows up.
That's right. That's right.
Millennium Falcons, welcome to your weekly 10-minute Damski portion of the show. Everybody clap it up for young Damski.
Right. This is where I just fire up hot takes for 15 minutes and not respond there. Oh shit! I got muted. Thanks. This is where I don't play the mute me game. Like don't just keep muting me for no reason.
No one's muting you.
No one's touching you, man.
Yeah. Don't do that. All right. What are we talking? Somebody did.
It's probably you. You don't know how to work any technology.
So, Adam, now that you've interrupted the show, what knowledge have you brought us from the streets of Canada?
Alaska. This is Alaska now.
What?
No, I'm just
because Trey Songz was like, when did he move to Alaska?
No, I don't know. What's everybody saying these days?
That's everybody saying.
What are you guys talking about? I don't know.
Right
we're talking
now,
about Michael Walker getting surpassed by Troy Anderson for LB2.
That whole group is just a mess here. Even like Troy, I don't know how you can justify Troy Anderson even playing right now. He's playing rough too. What? Sorry?
Yeah, like they're rough. But
just the whole group is so bad. I don't know if it's the front or I don't know. Yeah. But he gap guesses a ton, and that's not going to be good. He looked like Ohio State versus Michigan there. Linebackers shooting different gaps.
We were talking, Adam, like any guys like that's nice. Any guys from the any guys like on the edge of the roster, undrafted free agents or anything like that in these last two games, keeping an eye on. We kind of mentioned Timmy Horn is a guy, a couple other like undrafted free agent guys, just getting some extra looks. Is there anybody that you're curious or like keeping an eye on?
It's got to be Bernhardt, no? Like they have chemistry. Like no, he's coming off.
Yeah,
I think what was it coming off some IR? Like
they haven't brought him up to the roster yet, but hopefully, since they just acted from IR, that's the plan.
Because like the chemistry with Ridder and OZ isn't there. I don't really think OZ, if all things are perfect, probably comes back this year as like a third or fourth receiver. So why not see if Bernhardt's the guy, man? Like check him out. They had chemistry in the preseason. Obviously, that's what got both of them on the got Bernhardt on the practice squad. Ridder was going to make the team anyway. So
I don't know, Adam. I think that's a pretty good point that Bernhardt basically helped secure Ridder's spot on the team.
Basically, yeah. Like if it wasn't for him, like Ridder would probably be out of there. No, I
don't know who's throwing that touchdown pass to in the Lions game. I'm going to be honest with you.
So what I'm hearing is Bernie carried Ridder to his roster spot.
Yes.
Essentially what we're getting at.
Sure.
And now Drake is carried. No. Did you talk about how impressive that he looked in the game already? I'm assuming, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we went over and talked about, we like the growth. We haven't mentioned yet though. What do you want to see from him this week? What are the next steps that we like honestly need to see from this kid in order to feel comfortable with the reality that Hunter dropped earlier that he's probably going to be the QB next year, barring
Yeah.
some meltdown.
I think consistency in the deep game, right? Like that's kind of what we're missing in the offense. Is that if
Mhm.
you're going to stack the box against us, so we want to hit those deep shots. So just being like on target and on time with those deep shots, I think that's something that's gonna be there. And like obviously, like maybe potentially the deep shot guy's not there just yet, but like just getting the ball like within a area to get them to make a play. Like I a lot of Mariota's that was my biggest gripe with Mariota. Like a lot of his deep there, he was taking deep shots, but they were nowhere in the vicinity of the player, right? Like at least give your man a shot. Like I know one of the more impressive throws of Ritter's preseason was that out of off his own goal line to Darby on the sideline, right? Where he dropped it in a bucket. Like you would love to see him like just nail a shot down the like to Bernhardt. Like that would be sick, right? Like Bernhardt comes in for like the second last game or the last game and gets a little run down the sideline. Uh, and we hit something deep there. But yeah, you want to see consistency. I think I heard you guys talking about like we haven't even seen Kyle Pitts with this thing yet. Like
yeah, man.
obviously,
Yeah.
there's so many layers to it, right? Like I think one thing we constantly hammered home all summer was like you just want to see growth game to game, and I think like it was night and day difference. Like Ritter's first two games, I think that's what's most exciting is that um, you go and he literally got his ass kicked that first game. He wasn't really hitting anything. Layups weren't there. Um, just consistency is struggling, and it made a lot of people start swallowing their words early, and then you get that second game where it's like, yeah, the first two drives were rough, but after that, he was just. It looked like he was in control. Like he knew where the ball had to go. He knew where to let it rip. He looked for his main guy. Like that's what you want him to do. Like you want him to feed that top player, right? Like Drake and Kyle, and get the run game going. So I think, like I was talking to Hunter earlier, like this should be Ritter's best. Like this should be the game that you're like, okay, these are all the good things he's done well. Let's bet on those things in 23. Let's get him some help and see what he can do with our confidence next year and roll with it. Because Tampa's going to be a tough game. The way Levante, I mean, the way the Buccaneers play in general. Even though they're a bad team, they're probably still good good enough to beat us.
Yeah,
As unfortunate as that sounds.
yeah.
Yeah.
You're right, bro. You're right.
Yeah, no. I mentioned earlier I need a Brock Purdy performance, so I need 2 passing touchdowns and 1 rushing touchdown, man.
So
He's just
you
that's what I need
want to
from
bring Kyle
this
Shanahan
game.
back here? Then? Is that what you're saying?
I mean,
Oh
I need Arthur
goodness.
Smith to
Hey,
look like he's one of those guys. He doesn't have to be
Exactly.
that guy, but I need to
I
see
would
something from everybody this game because this is. I mean, we're getting to play, in my opinion. I mean, Cliff Kingsbury is a joke. Like this is a
he's a
guy that
joke,
fell into his
complete joke.
job after getting like picked up from being an OC on his way to a flailing USC school. It just got rescued because people wanted to hire Sean McVay lookalikes at this point, and
That's
he
what I'm
had the
saying, dude.
faux hawk. He checked the
Basically.
box, man.
He's a
So
white guy with good hair. He got a
I,
job from it.
like I
He
need
hasn't
Arthur
worked for
Smith
me
to
yet,
show that he
but
is
like he's a white guy with good hair.
above this guy and is like, I'm no Cliff Kingsbury. All right. We're not the Cardinals. We're trending up, they're trending down. Like that's what this game really needs to look like, in my opinion, because that's hopefully the direction that this franchise is heading.
Yeah, I think the one thing is so funny. Nate Tice talked about it. I think last year or the year before that was that like Kyler Murray overcame so many schematic difficulties from Kingsbury, and the only reason he did that, only reason Cliff is still there is because Kyler was doing like some wild shit every single game, every single week. And like I specifically remember it was last year because it was when the Rams won the Super Bowl. Like everybody was like, it was one of the meetings between Arizona and the Rams, and they're like, Oh, the Cardinals have no shot in this. Like schematically, it doesn't make sense. Rams should just go crazy and beat them. But it's literally Kyler just going out of scheme and just absolutely destroying it, right? So I mean, like the only reason that man has a job right now, and the fact that he's created a rift between him and Kyler is absolutely comical to me. The only reason you're in the NFL right now is because a guy who's an absolute like toddler with the ball. That's just crazy. That's crazy things. And you created a rift with them, and now I don't know what the end game is there. I'm assuming Cliff. I'm hoping Cliff gets fired because I am a Tyler fan, but I like that thing is just like you said, they're trending downwards, we're trending upwards. Like all things created equal, this should be a game that we win.
Yo, Cliff's gonna go be Alabama's next Saban rehabilitation project.
Reclamation project for
And he would be lucky at this point.
yeah, he would. That's what they always say is that anybody who's struggling in their career, just go get saved by Saban.
Gonna be a hell of a passing game analyst next year. I promise you that.
Yeah, no, that's for real. But man, I'm excited. I'm hoping Ebiketie pops off too. He's just due, man. Like in one of these games, I don't know if it's gonna be this year. I don't know, maybe next year. But he's just gonna pop off. He's gonna get like 3.5 sacks, and we're gonna be like, oh, okay, that's what we're waiting for.
Yeah, because he's always so close. He's always right there, bro.
It's so like that bend. Like I posted that clip. He actually liked it, which is pretty cool. That bend he had on that long arm, like that's unnatural. You don't like that. You don't teach that. You either can long arm and bend like that, or you can't. And like it's just the way he's special, man. Like once he gets some help, you're gonna really see a real good player there. Like he's gonna be a guy that you can build around. Like that's for sure.
Yeah,
I like that analysis.
Well, it's true, and like if I'm like that quote today, like absolutely blew me away. That he's like, oh, we're gonna add to the pass rush room. I'm like, okay, so like we're actually gonna spend money on these guys. Like this is good news.
That screams Marcus Davenport to me.
Yeah, Davenport. I don't even care. Honestly, I just want to see resources thrown at it. Like hopefully first round pick. Hopefully Davenport. Hopefully an interior D lineman. Like,
well, he said interior. He said beyond the outside linebacker position. So he specifically called out the interior.
Hey,
Deron Payne.
Deron Payne. David Onyemata.
Hey man, anyone, like literally anyone at this point
can almost throw a dartboard at the top, guys.
So you guys want Tyler Davidson back? I see how it is.
Oh, get out of here! I'm out of here. I'm done with you.
Go ahead and mute your mic for me, my boy.
Might as well get Deidre Sanat back here too.
Can we not, guys? Can we not? You're making me sad.
Yo, Sanat? Sanat's looking kind of good this year, though.
He gets like 5 reps too. I would look good in the NFL with 5 reps.
Just give him 5 reps, ladies and gentlemen. That's all he needs.
Listen, I'm not going to drop names of a former Falcons Twitter analyst that died on the Deidre Sanat hill.
Oh man!
But it couldn't have been me.
That's what got me blocked. That's what got me blocked from Falcons Twitter analysts there.
Oh.
Because I wouldn't give in that he was a nose tackle, and I told him it was reset. But anyways, that was Adam's 60 minutes. I gotta go, boys. This is good. We always, anytime we can shit on former Twitter analysts, that's a great time. Anyways, enjoy the rest of the show, boys. Good seeing y'all.
Later, Adam. All right.
Oh, Adam.
All right.
Well,
what a guy.
I'm not sure where Fleek is, so I'm gonna need somebody to look for him to come on. But let's do a mental reset now that it's just us. It's just us Americans again. Just hold on.
Thoughts on AJ Terrell versus D Hop this week?
Hopefully, it's better than AJ Terrell versus Mark Andrews.
That's another thing that we need to talk about. Snoop missed a couple of them because he doesn't have the anticipation and the arm of Lamar. But Mark Andrews kind of had AJ Terrell in a chokehold for a good amount of this game.
Welcome back,
Let's talk about it.
Yeah.
Let's talk about it.
Like people,
Mark Andrews gave our boys some problems.
I mean,
and we kind of knew that going in. You know, like he struggles with the more physical guys. That's kind of one reason why. If we do get a corner in the first round, I'd want it to be Joey Porter Jr., somebody that can deal with those physical guys, and we can kind of let AJ deal with the more speedy, twitchy kind of guys.
You know who I want if we go corner first round.
I know who you want. You want Cam Smith.
Bro, he's good. If you saw what he did to Jalen Hyatt, he put Jalen Hyatt in a clinic.
I saw it.
His Drake London films.
I saw it.
But yeah, I think AJ will do better against D-Hop. I think that that's a little bit more favorable matchup for him, and obviously, I think it helps too with the quarterback, not being Kyler Murray. I'll tell you this, man. If Kyler Murray were back there today with his ability to extend plays, I don't know how this one would go for our second. I don't know how this one would go for the secondary, man.
I know exactly how it would go. We all know how it would go.
Pretty rough because after AJ, when you look at everybody else that would be manned up in a Kyler Murray situation like that, it'd be awful.
Ooh,
man.
Okay.
It'd be awful.
Imagine.
I have a question about the secondary. I have seen some discourse on my son, Richie Grant. And I just want to make sure I'm not being biased when I say I think he's been having a very good season, because I've seen a lot of people kind of back and forth on him, and I don't want to be biased on it. So can you guys give me your thoughts on Richie Grant? Because I think he's played very well this year.
I think so as well, especially for a guy in his first season playing his true position. Obviously, he's made mistakes. He's still a young guy, and he's obviously – DNP's had him basically, learn so much for a reason. They use him in a lot of different spots. And when he's at top safety, he's taken some bad angles this year a few times, maybe try to cut off a route that maybe he wasn't in position to make it to. But I think overall he has had a pretty good season, in my opinion.
Overall, yes, it's been good. Overall, it's been good. He's just had those couple of games where it's just kind of a head scratcher. But other than maybe those two and a half games where you're just like, he's been good. Like, it's not just serviceable. He's been good. He's been a good safety, especially last game. I thought he had that pick when he went up over Josh Oliver.
Man.
I thought he had that. That was. That's
crazy.
It's plays like that make you like. I mean, yeah, sure, you take the bad, but if we can get stuff like that, and he starts capitalizing on things like that, it's like, I'll take those couple of bad snaps.
That's like how I felt about Troy's game too. Like, people were hard on him because he's missing tackles, and I'm like, yeah, he's skinny, he's too little right now. But look at him force a fumble, get the ball back. Like, who cares? Like, he's gonna put on weight and be fine. And this whole team sucks at tackling. It's not just Troy Anderson.
Like,
this whole team is one of the worst tackling teams in football this year. Like, they're atrocious. But I think Richie's I felt like he started the season so hot, right? So I think a lot of people have forgotten, because he was having multiple turnovers within the first 4 games, had a sack. He's coming up, he closed out the Seahawks game. So I think there was that midpoint in the season that Savion mentioned where it was kind of like, oh, okay, this doesn't look too great. But he's definitely rebounded to the point to where he's good. You could say he's a good player. Yeah. I think a lot of people, and this is what comes down to, and this isn't trying to take shots, because this is difficult for everybody to figure out. But when we're looking at coverages and we're looking at plays, we can only do our best in order to figure out what responsibilities were. And I do feel a lot of people have gone back and forth on things that they thought was Hawkins and things that they thought was Richie. where I bet, behind the scenes, it's, that's probably a lot clearer. But in my opinion, I think Hawkins' game has stepped down this year. And I think that, like, safeties feed off each other and play off of each other so much. Like, they're not really just one person when it comes to how they operate sometimes. And Pease's defense is so important, and safety play is such a huge part of that. And then both of them are asked to do the same thing sometimes, and play each other's role, that I think people honestly don't, really appreciate, like Fleek mentioned earlier, how much Richie's had to learn because of what he's asked to do. And I think if we get a vet in here, maybe Bates over to Cincinnati, get the rookie that can help him a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
That's the kind of signing I would love to see. So
I'm a fan. Hey, you got the money, man. This offseason.
That's right.
Somebody tweeted, this offseason finna be a movie. And I couldn't agree more, man. This offseason about to go crazy. I'm about to be paying attention to
There's a lot of big budget movies out there, though, Flake.
I ain't talking Avatar: The Way of Water.
There's a lot of big budget movies out there. I'm just saying, there's a lot of big budget flops.
Well, I mean, there's also a lot of like movies that don't go out throwing a lot of money. Like we might be one of those movies. Like I don't.
Yeah, that's true too.
I don't know, man. I don't see Fontenot taking the cap that we have and putting us right back into a potential cap hell just because he can. Like that doesn't really strike me as him.
Yeah, very smart guy.
You can carry over how much of your cap? What's the rule again? Like, I feel like he's gonna try to leave a little bit on the top or something mid-season, or I don't. Yeah, I'm with you on that. I don't think he's gonna try to go.
I wouldn't be shocked if we hover around 20 mil, like a free space every season.
Yeah.
So that way he has wiggle room if he wants to make a move mid-season.
Unless you have the guy and it's that year, then you can cash in, right? That's why you keep that little.
That's why you keep it like mid-season move that you're like, that's the guy that'll put us over the top. You go for that.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
So
that's what Dimitrov used to do, wasn't it? Until he screwed us after the 2012 season.
Yeah.
I don't know who you're talking about.
I thought of this one before the show. What can we learn from the Cardinals as an organization when it comes to team building, when it comes to coach hiring, QB chasing? This is a team that they've only had one winning season in the past 4 years now, and that was last year. And they basically just lost like most of the second half of their it was a downward spiral to the end last year. Now the coach looks like he's gone. You got a superstar QB who could supposedly be unhappy. What are you guys when you look at the Cardinals? Because I'm looking over at there and thinking like I don't want to be that franchise right now. What do you think we can do? Especially looking at this offseason, moving forward, to kind of avoid falling into some of those pit holes. I think the biggest one for me is you can't sign Derek Carr or like somebody, because like you have to pay Derek Carr at least $20 million. Like Derek Carr is was awful this year, and he's still gonna get some kind of contract like that. And I just feel like, for me, I'm like, that's a move where I'm like, you're gonna mess up everything. Like even if Ridder looks bad, I'm like, that's not that. Like you can't go with that guy.
Yeah, I feel like the most important things we've already done, right? We talked about how bad Cliff Kingsbury has been. I think it's so important. It's not even I think it's just a fact. It's so important that you get the head coaching hire right, whether he is his own play caller or not. There's a certain culture that has to be built, and I feel like the culture that we're building and the foundation that we're building right now is going to be strong enough to where once we are able to add key pieces, that's why I believe in our success, because we're building foundation. And I understand, you look at the record, you look at the numbers, you look at the points per game, the yardage, you may not say, oh, that's the most prolific thing in the NFL, but you can see the pieces. You see the rookies we've drafted. I think Fontenot had a really good draft this past draft, and the first draft was not half bad either. I just think the most important parts we've already done. I think from here, it's about constant progression. Like constant. We want to see a jump from Arthur Smith as well from year 2 to year 3. We want to see what Terry Fontenot can do with money in his pockets. I mean, we haven't even seen that yet, and he's already done a really good job with, chump change, essentially. So I'm just interested in seeing the growth, man. I feel like we're on an upwards trajectory no matter what the end of the season looks like. I feel like we're in good shape.
So one big thing that I want to point out is you got to remember that the Cardinals were in the middle of the NFC West as well throughout this entire thing, which for the last 4 years, I mean, honestly, up until last year, has been a gauntlet. So I do want to preface it by saying, I mean, it's just been horrible luck.
Yeah,
they were trying their best to compete in a freaking gauntlet of a division as well. Not to give excuses, because
I mean, they were making signings. You look back at them, and it's like you look at these signings on paper, and you're like DeAndre Hopkins.
They brought in
J.J. Watt, Zach Ertz, Hollywood Brown.
Made sense.
I mean,
all of them made sense.
Like you look at these moves, and you're like, these aren't terrible players. Like it's like my gosh, I would kill for like any one of those guys we just named. Like when they had signed them at that point.
Yeah.
And another thing too is the culture and foundation. I can't speak on the other players and everything that's not really publicized because I just kind of see the big stories from Arizona. But like the whole Kyler Murray situation, I understand it, but just things like that. I just don't feel like we have a culture where things like that would take place, and we wouldn't have players speaking out against other players. I know.
Yeah.
In a moment of frustration, you might say, same shit, different year. You know what I'm saying? Something like that. But you ain't gonna blame teammates for certain things or talk about specifics. I feel like the culture may not be run well under Cliff Kingsbury, and in addition to his play calling, that's just unforgivable. So it's like,
Connor?
One thing that I think that we could do better than the Cardinals is I know that you guys were just hyping up a lot of their big name acquisitions over the past couple of years. But to me, those felt like fluff moves and like marketing moves to an extent because, yes, J.J. Watt's been good, but you had to move Chandler Jones for some of it. You brought in Marquise Brown. That cost you your first-round pick. Well, you had Rondale Moore and Andy Isabella on roster already. D-Hop was a good pick. You moved for Zach Ertz.
But then he got on drugs.
Exactly. You move for Zach Ertz, big name tight end. He's kind of older and injury prone at this point in his career. Like,
whoa! Number 3 fantasy football tight end before he got hurt. Okay, the man was carrying my team. Zach Ertz has been.
What is that saying this season?
He's been falling.
What is that saying this season?
It's been saying my man's been getting his numbers. That he's
fantasy tight ends are totally different. We're not going to the fantasy podcast.
In the wise words of Arthur Smith, this isn't fantasy football.
You're right.
Well, that's why Kyle Pitts is now getting talked about the way he's getting talked about. So.
We need to talk about that.
How it is.
But like that's kind of the thing, though, is they made these moves, which stirred up all this hype, but nothing they did amounted for anything really. I'd argue that Zach Allen's been a better 3-tech than J.J. Watt has for them this season, like in some regards.
Yeah, probably this year. Yeah.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like this year,
you can make that.
And like, I don't know, man. It's just one of those things. I don't want to get caught in the flashiness of free agency and off-season moves and stir up all this hype that we either aren't ready to achieve and like work to, or these guys are just overpaid. Like, as much as I hate to say it, like everybody in the offseason shit on Christian Kirk for the contract he got from Jacksonville. Christian Kirk has looked light years ahead of Hollywood Brown this season. And I think I'd rather have Christian Kirk on my roster than Hollywood Brown. So I don't know. It's easy to get caught up in the names. I just don't want us to be like the Cardinals and strictly kind of rely on those names as opposed to relying on the schematics and the X's and O's, which it seems like we're not going to do with Arthur Smith. But I don't want to turn into the Cardinals and get complacent.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, Christian Kirk almost got 1,000 yards, by the way.
Oh yeah.
No, Christian Kirk's
having a good year.
He's carrying my fantasy team.
All right. Let's get down to some there's been a lot of takes, that circle the Falcons web, and I always find these entertaining, and I like to make some overreactions for you guys. So, Drake London has a case of fumbleitis.
Agreed.
So
Overreaction?
No. Agreed.
No? Okay.
Yeah, no, that's true.
That's true. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Savion? Man, we two like instant quick, like
I understand it. I understand it. I get it. I'm not ready to just say, oh yeah, he's got a case of fumbleitis. The second one, I'm sorry, a lot of guys are fumbling that punch. So I'm not ready to say that dude even put two hands on the football to make sure that
he did.
So
you know what?
I'm not ready to say that. The first one was completely on him.
Bro, that's what makes it worse. So he had both hands on it.
Yeah. You know what?
I'm going overreaction.
But that's Marlon Humphrey.
Three fumbles in the whole year. One of them, he's getting held up. Who does it? Khalil fucking Mack. Like, are you kidding me? It's Khalil Mack. Okay, fine. Like, you get a wash. Like, I don't care who. That's the only person to ever get all pro for two positions in the same season. Okay, like if it's gonna happen to anybody, that's fine. Second one, all right, that was on him. That was bad. You can't do that. You can't do that. This last one, again, like Savion said, that's like a perfectly executed punch. Like it sucks that he didn't hold on to the ball. Like it's
on another fourth down
like,
conversion. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
And Ridder missed him open for third down the play before if he just held the ball for like one more half second. But like I can't say he's got a fumbling issue based off of the fumbles I've seen and the way it's happened because like it's just been it's just been part of the game.
Maybe okay. I think over the years I got spoiled with Roddy White and Julio not being very.
I can understand that.
That's the thing. Like
Roddy just used to not catch it. Period. That was Roddy's. I said Roddy just wouldn't catch it. Period. That was his issue. Bro, we're talking about early days Roddy White. That could
okay. Let's not talk about early days.
All right,
we're talking about
that was. But these are Drake London's rookie years.
Right.
These are those years. Like
Roddy
couldn't catch the ball. Drake's like fumbling because Khalil Mack decided to tackle. Like whatever.
This is the thing. I'm not saying it's not fixable. Right. I'm just saying he got to work on his ball security.
Okay,
that's it.
That's fine. It's just I mean, let's be honest. Khalil Mack,
fumbleitis,
man. Khalil Mack, grown man.
Wait, how many fumbles do you have to qualify for fumbleitis?
I just think you look at the context of how they happen too, though. Like
that's true. Now
he was getting held up in the Khalil Mack. Like God,
not every fumble is the same, man.
Yeah, not every fumble is I'm not even mad about. Yeah.
Okay. At this, I don't know how to feel about this one because I feel like it could go down like this, but Ridder has these last two games and that's it.
Oh, for the Falcons, period.
That's it. Like I'm saying,
like
this is
eval, like this is his eval.
This is it. QB1. It's over after this.
Complete overreaction.
I think it's an overreaction.
That's a big overreaction right there.
Next year.
Okay.
Once you decided to go with Mariota for that stretch of Carolina through Pittsburgh, you complete. And in my opinion, you took out the option for the full Ridder eval. Mm-hmm. That's just how I feel.
Okay. 4 games was never going to be enough.
It's not enough.
Mm-hmm.
So I agree.
To an extent.
Yeah. But I do feel like these are the only 2 games that he has guaranteed left. And here's why I say that, because I don't necessarily know, or I'm not sure how logical this team is going to be with this whole QB situation heading into the end of the year. Would Arthur Smith be the kind of guy to overthink something if Ridder falls down on his ass these next 2 games, and then he starts to
That's
get
fair.
a little case of the bubble guts, like
Yeah.
I think that this is kind of it in terms of like what he's guaranteed, but I'm still gonna say it's probably overreaction, because I think like you're looking at catastrophic levels of failure. Like he'd have to come out and look like Nathan Peterman or something.
You told me not to say that when I said it. Now how come you get to say it?
Because he's looked good.
Because you said it first.
Okay,
He's looked good
This
now.
is
We
That's true, and he has not looked like
we had a
Nathan
good
Peterman.
game. I mean,
yeah, this is true.
Jesus, you said it before he even took a snap.
In the midst of the unknown. Oh my God.
Trey's was a hypothetical. Trey's was like, if he looks like Peterman, you do this. Yours was, he might look like Peterman.
No, I said
That's true. That's true. I was like, what happens when he comes out and looks bad? And we were like, yeah, he could look bad. And he's like, yeah, he'll look like Peterman.
Yeah, he could look like Peterman. We know that's a possibility. We don't need to be reminded of how bad it could get.
Hey, well, aren't you a lot more relieved now that he doesn't? That I brought it up. Come on now, like
you're
He
not
just has to
wrong.
look better than Jarrett Stidham now. Baby steps.
You're not wrong.
Yes.
That's gonna be fun to watch. The last,
Oh,
man. Moving on here.
This one
Is Kyle Pitts the worst pick of his draft? The worst top 10 pick in his draft? Is Kyle Pitts the worst of the top 10s of the 2021 draft?
Hey,
And if you need to know who was taken, I can get you that information.
Give me the names. I know
This
Jamar
is gonna
Chase.
be tough.
Yeah, I know Jamar
This
Chase.
is gonna be so. Trevor Lawrence, Zach Wilson, Trey Lance.
Okay,
I
he's the
know.
worst.
I know.
Zach Wilson's the
Zach
worst.
Wilson is what saves this list. But you know what? I'm changing this. We cannot count Zach Wilson.
Oh,
he's part of the top 10. No.
I know. But
Are we gonna
I'm making
Trey
up my
Lance?
own rules. I'm
Are we
making
gonna
up my
include
own
Trey Lance
rules.
because Trey Lance is a question mark? Are we
And
gonna include
because,
Lance?
but I'm not
You have
counting
to-
Zach
you have to
Wilson,
include Trey
which
Lance.
means number 11 is not a part of this either, which works out for us.
Oh, that's true.
Because the 11th pick of the draft, I'm not even going to say
Yeah,
who
we
that
gotta
is.
talk
But
about him. Yeah.
is Kyle Pitts the worst top 10 pick? Trey Lance, Trevor Lawrence, Jamar Chase, Jalen Waddle, Penei Sewell, J.C. Horn, Patrick Surtain, Devontae Smith.
Can we talk about how stacked this top 10 is first?
That's an amazing.
This
top
is
10
an
class.
amazing top 10 of a draft class.
You have
So, I mean, he's not like okay. Trevor
Oh,
Lawrence
it's-
gets the win. Trevor Lawrence gets the win. Penei gets the win. Jamar gets the win.
Jalen gets the win.
everybody except for Pitts, Wilson, and Lance gets a win.
Yeah. So I would say
Yeah.
he's not the worst.
Like,
And
Wilson's,
lucky for
Wilson's
him, some
an
people
L.
were injured.
I'm gonna say no because of how much they've given up for Lance, and we still don't know whether or not that's
Yeah,
still a question
That's
mark.
true.
Bro, what you mean? That man's gonna be MVP next season. Like, I'm just-
I hope
Bro, what you mean?
for Kyle Shanahan's sake, I hope he is because they gave
Ooh.
up the farm for Buddy.
That was scary when I looked that up originally.
did.
I was like, oh, this
Yeah.
is gonna. I was like,
Yeah.
ooh, tough.
I'm a firm believer in Trey Lance. Like, as somebody
Oh,
that drove
good
the
name.
Trey Lance hype train last season, it's just it's hard with the big question mark around him of his injuries. So, like, if I count that out too, since we can't count Wilson, then of the remaining 7, then yeah, I think Pitts has been the worst of the remaining 7 or 8.
Okay.
But that's
So
also a
remaining-
stacked roster. There's a stacked remaining 10 with a couple of Pro Bowlers and a couple All Pros on there. Like, bro, come on.
All right.
Yeah, in a couple of years, this top 10 is going to look
Like,
godly.
Pitts has been a B minus.
Yeah.
And this season did that to him, I would say. Because the first season,
Yes.
if you'd asked me that coming out of the first season, he still might not have been in the top 2 or 3.
But he'd been top 5 probably.
He'd be top 5
I would have
for
had him
sure.
over Waddle. I would have had him over.
Yeah, me too.
There's people I would have had him over last year, but that's how the game. That's how it goes. So.
Yeah.
I mean, he is one of only 3 Pro Bowlers so far right now.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. That's a good point. And the whole 1,000-yard thing, which people like don't even care about anymore. It's like so funny, that all the pressure that was on him to hit that, he hit it, and now nobody like cares. They're like, whatever. Okay.
Whatever.
It's like suddenly it's not a big deal. They're like, it's like not every, there's hardly any other tight end is doing that. Like,
social media tight end right there, bro. That's
so
exactly
social
what that
media
is.
tight
that's
end.
what it feels like. So all things equal, all things exactly the same for this season. You start the year, Lamar Jackson is your QB. This Atlanta Falcons team is winning at least one playoff game. Overreaction or spot on?
Spot on.
Spot on. They're the reason why they're for sure winning the South, which means like if you get the Dallas Cowboys in the playoffs,
You get the Cowboys, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's a solid point. That's a solid point.
And
bro, you get Seattle
that's
in the
bare
playoffs.
minimum. I think that they're maybe even, maybe they're the third. Maybe the NFC sucks. Like the NFC is bad. Like you could look at being decent seed. So
you try. Yeah. Hey, you reset this again. Minnesota might not be as good. So let's not reset it.
So true,
bro.
So true. Minnesota and like Las Vegas are the same team. It's just one of them is coming up on
one
the
of
right
them.
side
One
of
of them.
coin.
Yeah, exactly, exactly.
Hey, can I just say too? Like, shout out to Justin freaking Jefferson. That man is a dog, bro.
Dog.
That
Y'all
man
think he gets
ridiculous.
2K?
I hope so.
I hope so.
I think he's gonna get it.
Absolute dog.
He's a dog. But I didn't say mine. I think that's spot on. I forgot about the whole Cowboys thing. The only thing I was thinking about was how we'd fare against like the Eagles. For some reason, that's what came to my mind, and we wouldn't win that game. I don't think our defense is good enough.
God no.
But
we only have to win one.
Just the first one, yeah.
Just one playoff game, yeah.
I agree with that. I agree.
There's no way you're not like with this year, this NFC conference. I just can't.
Oh my gosh, the run game with Lamar.
Oh my God,
bro!
I tell you one thing, we hitting them deep shots.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yes, we are. Yeah. Everybody forgets he threw the most passing touchdowns when he was the MVP. Oh, okay. What were the actual highest I believe highest touchdown to interception ratio as well. So Mr. Efficient, doing it at a high level. I can't believe he was compared to a former Falcons quarterback today on the timeline. People said numbers never lie.
Oh, wait,
how many times has Marcus Mariota led the league in passing? How many times has he led all QBs in rushing, touchdowns? How many MVPs does Marcus Mariota have? How many Pro Bowls does Marcus Mariota have? If the numbers never lie, like we could keep going with all these numbers, but we're gonna do one snapshot of the 12 games Lamar Jackson's played this year and say that he's the exact same QB as Marcus Mariota. Kids, make sure you're getting your information from a reliable source.
Like us.
Just make sure that somebody's actually watching the games and not just posting random box score stats of raw completion percentage that don't even tell you how many drops or how accurate the ball itself was, because you're not learning anything. You're not growing.
This was the same guy that did the Herbert and another former Falcons QB last year, right? Same guy?
Bring it up.
No.
Yeah, don't bring it up. Don't
No.
bring it up. We ain't gotta talk about that.
No.
Brought to you by ATB and ATB Associates. Anyways,
I like that.
Shout out ATB Network.
I think did we talk about Clint Rutzkovich?
No, we did not.
Gave that name a shot. We'll see if that's right. So, the Falcons did make a little bit of a free agent signing here, getting ahead of the curve. Wanted to beat the robust fullback market. So, went out there. This is a guy, Hunter was mentioning earlier that a lot of other, whoever draft people, he believes to be smarter or more reliable than him, said, they're excited about. Personally, I think he's a little skinny to be a fullback. We'll see.
Since he's not a fullback, he's an H-back.
Okay, so tell us about him, Hunter. What is this, man? What does this signing mean? Who signs a fullback this late in the season? Like, what's going on?
Okay, so I think this move stems from two different places. We signed Clint Ratkovich from NIU. I think I said the last name right. Probably butchered it. Regardless, he was an H-back, RB, fullback, tight end combo player for them. Just a gadget weapon. He balled out at Shrine last year before he got hurt during the pre-draft process with the Packers. But what he brings to the table is something that I think would compare similarly to what we get from Parker Hesse right now. And I think the whole point of us adding him to the practice squad now is if Felipe Franks is not good to go. Because Franks, Hesse, and Ratkovich all kind of bring the oversized in-line, offline weapon of sorts. I'm using loosely because I don't want to call Felipe Franks a weapon by any means.
He is not.
But you would scheme them all in the same way. Like there's a touchdown that Ratkovich got a jet sweep on. How often do you hear of a fullback getting a jet sweep?
But he's not a fullback. He's an H-back.
Yeah, I know.
Oh gosh, that's true too.
I know. I know.
What? It's not true.
It's what I just said. I know.
Amazing.
But like, it's just one of those things where it's like, I think the point of adding him now was we have a guy who can fill in certain roles, who has experience doing those things already. If Frank's not able to go, and then we have a guy who can compete with Parker Hesse for that role in the offseason. Because that's something Fontenot and Smith have wanted, is just constant competition. And, bro, Hesse looked bad to start the season.
And I thought his preseason was awful.
His preseason was terrible.
I thought his preseason, I was like, oh, my God, this guy – I didn't know what he was slotted at that point, but I thought that he was not I think he's been amazing this year. He's so important to the run game, but yeah, he didn't look great at the beginning.
No, he's looked a lot better as the season went on, but like he looked bad to start with. And I think that's the point of adding a guy like Ratkovich in there is in case Parker Hesse or Felipe Franks looks atrocious to start the season again, which one of those is a lot more likely than the other. You have a guy on roster who you can be like, okay, we're at least semi-confident in this guy to fall back on.
Yeah. Okay.
I think we're just having fun, guys. I think this is
it's an H-back. Like there's nothing to be super, super excited about unless you're an absolute football sicko like we all are.
There you go.
Yeah. I was
good
like
news for
trying
sickos.
to find film on him already, and I fullback film, is that a thing? I don't watch fullback film. I don't know.
H-back, guys.
Oh, sorry. H-back film. I'm so sorry.
So, Grady Jarrett, same shit, different year. The vet,
I agree.
not in the best mood after the Falcons are officially eliminated from the playoffs. We currently own the 6th pick. Any ideas with that number 6 pick on what to do, guys? Any correlation between that quote? Maybe something that could, maybe
Jalen Carter.
Maybe a Jalen
help
Carter.
him out.
Brian Brees.
Help him.
Brian Brees could be fun.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Brian Brees
could be fun.
Tyree, what's his name? Tyree Wilson.
I mean,
I'm
all aboard the Tyree.
Miles Murphy, bro.
Miles Murphy, if you want him. It's just
your
about
boy from Florida State, Savion.
Jared Verse. I mean, it's whatever you like. You can have whatever you like.
Yeah.
I mean, it's really you really have your pick of guys. Up
Can
at
you
the
keep
top
singing
here.
a little bit more? Can you do like a full verse?
No, I'm not doing this, bro. I'm just saying, bro. Like you can have whatever you want up here. If we're staying up here, which I'm sorry. I think
Probably
we're splitting this, but
we got a nice spot on the couch. We're pretty snug in here already. I don't think we're getting up. I don't think
that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. We're definitely in draft sicko territory now.
Yeah.
Well, with that being said, It's been great to spread our wings and have a little bit more extended time to talk ball. You know, we got a the season went exactly how we planned, even though it was painful the whole way. So I'm glad.
Trey.
Episode 20, guys. Episode 20 of the new Millennium Falcons podcast. Give yourselves a round of applause. What a great journey it's been, and that's right. We are not done yet. This account isn't done until the Falcons win a Super Bowl, so we're gonna be here for a while.
70 years, I said we ain't done yet, for sure.
With that being said, Falcons, Cardinals. It's the first home game. Desmond Ridder making his first start in MBS, a stadium that since we've built it has not really been a home threat territory. Does Ridder, who never lost at home in college, does he bring that mentality to Atlanta? Or is he going to let the prettiest coach in the NFL hand him an L this Sunday?
Nah. See, Desmond Ridder is going to keep that alive. He's going to bring that spirit to Atlanta. He's going to go out. He's going to have his best performance of the season. The Atlanta Falcons will look good overall. Why? Because we're out of playoff contention, of course.
That's right.
You know this. We all know this. Seriously, the Cardinals' defense is not that great. I think they were, Savion? You're the DVOA guy. What were they 25th in defensive DVOA?
That sounds correct. Give me a sec. That sounds correct. Give me 1 sec.
He's paging Football Outsiders right now.
Yeah, Chris Collinsworth. But yeah, no, seriously though.
Here's a guy.
I think the Falcons should look pretty good. Here's a guy. It's crazy. I think our offense will look pretty good. I think our run game will go crazy as always. I think Drake will go crazy as well. But I do think Desmond will have those 2 touchdowns that you talked about.
Give me the numbers, Fleek. What are we looking at? Come on, Fleek.
28-14 Falcons.
28-14. All right.
Yeah.
Hunter?
Yo, okay. I said this in the group chat. I'm going to say it again. I think this is Desmond Ridder's breakout game where he throws for 250 plus and 2 tutties. I'm not ready to for sure bank on a scramble.
He's not there yet.
But I think 250 plus and 2 tutties is attainable. And I think we see him take another step forward to looking like a potential starter for us. Even if it's just like Ryan Tannehill-esque, I think he's going to be the guy next year. And I think the Falcons win tomorrow or Sunday. Shit. 31-17.
Okay. All right.
I'm down.
Oh, man. That sounds – first of all, Fleek, spot on. 25th in defensive DVOA. My guy.
Look at me and my numbers.
My guy.
There you go.
But to piggyback off of Hunter, I mean, wouldn't it be great to send Cliff Kingsbury back into that beautiful house of his? And is that Phoenix or Glensdale? It's just open.
I believe it's Glensdale.
Yeah,
that draft house.
Oh,
taking all the little bit of water that exists in Arizona to keep it.
It's all in the fountain. No. I mean, honestly, there's no way that I can predict anything but a Falcons dub here, and it's gonna be tight. I mean, it's the Falcons, so I'm going with 31-28, just because it's just because.
Oh snap!
Yeah,
31-28. Oh man!
Yeah.
Oh,
that's good football right there. Or
that's good football right there. Yeah,
a lot more fun than 9-17. That's for sure.
Oh, tell me about it. Oh, Trey, don't do this.
I already told Hunter that it's gonna be a Purdy Sunday for Desmond Ridder. He's gonna have 2 passing touchdowns and 1 legitimate Brock Purdy level scramble. Okay.
Oh my gosh!
But there's something about this team this year. I think they're going to get the job done. I think they're going to lose this game. You know, I think they're built different than they have been in the past. And, you know, normally this is the kind of game that we would see this team win. But you know what? These guys, they're different.
Built different.
They're different,
It's
man.
wild.
So I'm going to say 21-24 Falcons lose to Arizona in a fucking nail-biter of a game.
Oh my God.
In Desmond's first start in the Benz, baby.
I'm sorry.
But
The more I had to
though.
think about it, if it happens that way, how mad could you be?
Hey,
No, Des
let me-
balled out. Better draft pick. You out of
Des
playoff
balls-
contention. A
21, that's
listen.
Dez's 3 tutty. Hunter's frozen in time because he can't believe what I just uttered.
Hey,
Really
bro.
pain.
Hey, what you
Love
say,
his
bro? They're gonna
body.
get the job done, bro. They're gonna get the job done like we need it.
They gotta get the job done.
Oh my god.
Oh wow. See, that's why you watch New Millennium Falcons, bro. Oh my gosh. What are we doing?
I hate it here, bro.
Like, bro,
I'm sorry. Hey, we've been
I
talking
didn't know.
about needing to see this team take the kind of steps that it needs to take. And this
The
is one of them.
necessary steps.
All right? This is one of
The
them.
necessary steps for success. A.
Colt McCoy is back.
Oh gosh, I just
It's
thought
gonna
about
look
it. If we
like
lose to Colt McCoy 24-21 at home, bro.
Bro, I'd rather lose to Colt McCoy than lose to Trace McSorley. That's for damn sure.
That's
Matt
just some
Prater
nasty.
clocked
That's
in
nasty work,
field goal.
regardless. That's nasty
Yeah.
work, regardless.
That's how it's going down.
It's a bit
That's how it's
nasty.
going down. Oh, well, like always, boys, this has been an amazing show. Wouldn't want to do this with anybody else.
Hey man.
Any parting words? Any last little bits of knowledge for people out there heading into this weekend? You're almost there, everybody. 2 weeks. 2 weeks left, and then we can start talking about the draft and how we're going to make the playoffs next year.
You know, our draft coverage is going to be top tier.
A1.
Yes, it is.
A1. Chef's
Yes, it
kiss.
is.
Parting words. Happy holidays again. Be safe, because I know you probably gonna have a little liquid courage in your system. Don't drink and drive, okay? Uber is an app, Lyft is an app. You have friends, you have family. Not drink and drive is very dangerous. That
Very
is my
good
parting
message.
words.
That's a great message for the holidays, Fleek. Damn,
Good job, Fleek.
I agree.
Yeah.
Savion?
Listen, man. Just be safe. Do not indulge too much on the Falcons this week. We promise. It is almost over. We promise it is almost over. Don't forget to come. Don't forget to look for us for our articles and stuff. We're gonna start doing mock draft Monday again. And yeah, like, share, and subscribe, guys. You know, pure YouTube stuff.